Hello and good morning. I am Christina Crowley and welcome to Inspiration Morning Live. I am glad to have you with me here this morning. And if you're joining me on the replay, I want to thank you too. I really do appreciate that you are here with me and watching. I help people who are going after their passion. And today I want to talk about change. Change, it means so many things to people. And in going after your passion, for some people, that does maybe mean a little bit of change. And I know for one of the clients I met with recently, change her meant. And I think for some of us, sometimes change is a little scary. And I know that in my own life, it has been too. I know from a few years ago, some of you know that, I had an accident and so many things in my life changed. And in dealing with it, that was okay. That was fine. And I was happy to. But then when there were bigger changes that come along, I got afraid, and it was the first time in probably a lot of my life that I had been afraid of change. And so when I think about going after your passion and that meaning change for some people, the fear that brings, I totally understand. And hi, good morning. I want to say thank you for joining me. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some hearts. I really appreciate those. It really energizes me. I appreciate that. And, when we're talking about change, I think it's good to acknowledge the feelings that you're having about the change. And to acknowledge that you're having them so that you can go forward and work on them and change them. The biggest change that I had in the past probably 7 years, besides, having an accident, being laid off, starting truly full-time working for myself, was moving. And my sister wanted to sell her house and to move to a different part of town. And having been in theater and moved a whole bunch of times, having lived around the world and in many different cities around the United States for theater, change and moving was nothing new to me. But this time change, I was like, oh my gosh, I held on tight. And because I loved where I lived and I had a lot of emotional memories there. And for the longest time, it was hard for me to put my finger on what I hated about moving. And I didn't acknowledge the feelings that I was having, and that this change was going to be kind of scary. It was my sister's house for several years, and our other sister lived there with us. There were a ton of fabulous memories there. And I, having gone through so much, didn't want to do that. But on the other end of it, when you push through that, it was an amazing thing. I love looking out my window right now. Our house, faces west, and we get a lot of shade during the day. And, we have a beautiful garden, and I love where we've landed. I love the old house. And I needed to acknowledge the feelings that, my sister wanting to give up the other house wasn't giving up those memories. It wasn't giving up the good times we had there. It was a positive statement on the future. It was an affirmation for the future. It was an affirmation that, she had bigger dreams for herself. And me saying, no, I don't like this, I don't like that, because she did appreciate my opinion, and I gave my opinion. And I don't think we passed up on any better houses because I was saying, no. I think we found the absolute perfect one, and I think she agrees with me that we found the absolute perfect house where we live now. So that kind of a change was a good thing. And in going after your passion, it may mean a bit of change. As I said, I met with a client yesterday, a student, and she's really excited about it. And, as she starts to go forward, there with her meditating, acknowledging the feelings, but also I think in one of the things when I was going through my change that that was hard for me, was practicing gratitude. And in practicing gratitude, we see the many amazing, wonderful things around us. And I know in the hardest times of my life, it has pulled me through. And I remember back to many of my different moves where I remember when I moved from Florida when I was doing theater up to Cincinnati to do a type of theater. I went from musical theater to, straight drama theater uh, and to a new city, and I wasn't being paid by the theater and I had to find a job. There were so many difficult things, but I practiced gratitude. And I really acknowledged what I was grateful for. And that pulled me through those difficult times. I had no money. I barely could make my rent. I had to be to work at 6 a.m., which meant I had to be up at 5 a.m. And sometimes rehearsal went until midnight. And then of course, you want to go out with your friends afterwards. And I was much younger and I could handle those 3 or 4 hours of sleep. So I practiced gratitude a lot. I was grateful for my friends. I was grateful for the theater. I was grateful for the experiences. I was grateful that I was able to walk home every day and that's what I thought of on my walk home to get me through, at first what was a challenging time, because when you first move to somewhere and everything's new, it is hard. And you do need a way to get through it. And I think practicing gratitude is an amazing way to get through things. I am even grateful for when my dog is acting up on our walk nowadays. I really try to be grateful all the time because it really does kind of calm down the feelings that you've acknowledged. Because lately I've made a big change in my business. Hello, good morning. I want to say thank you for joining me. Lately I've made a big change in my business. I had to acknowledge that the thing that I was most successful at wasn't making me the happiest. Now I am an entrepreneur and I have a few irons and many fires, but the thing that I was most successful at wasn't making me the happiest. And in doing that, and I've made a couple of changes, it's truly helped my happiness. And in the practicing of the gratitude has made those changes less scary. Change is hard. Change, without a doubt, is difficult. Acknowledging that makes it easier. And the M. Scott Peck book, The Road Less Traveled, basically the first line of the book says that. When you acknowledge change, when you acknowledge what is difficult, it then becomes easier. Acknowledging it makes things easier. And that's what I really truly believe. And change, though it can be fearful, and I did talk about gratitude, here is Teresa's gratitude journal. I'm going to put this a little closer to the screen. I use Teresa's gratitude journal, and I think it is pretty. And you can find these on Amazon or teresacrowley.com, and it'll take you to her Amazon page. She has a few journals there. I love journals, and I love journaling. And having a gratitude journal is something I started many, many years ago when I think it was Sarah Brethnick. She was on Oprah. She started a bit of the gratitude journaling years ago. And that's when I first started, I can do gratitude journaling. This is cool. Because I love journaling. I love to write. And I love gratitude. And, it's the small things. Like I look out the window and I see my seedlings starting to grow. I look out the front window and I can see the kids playing. I can see people walking their dogs. There are so many things worth being grateful for. And pulling that into your change just makes it even stronger. It also helps you associate the good feelings with your change. Change, if you have any feelings about it, let me know. Feel free to comment. Feel free to like this. Feel free to share this. I appreciate everything that you do in support of the Inspiration Morning Live. If you find this is of value to you, let me know. Let others know. I really do appreciate that. And I appreciate hearing from you. I do get some personal messages every now and then, and I really appreciate that. And I also appreciate you letting me know what your biggest challenges are. So feel free to put them in the comments. And if you feel this has been helpful, but I do look forward to seeing you. I'm going to be doing many more Facebook Lives. I may move it earlier in the day because it is summer. And as you can see, I have my summer clothes on because it is going to be a hot one today. It has been very, very warm here around in the Denver area. And so I'm pulling out the summer shirts because, I enjoy the heat and I enjoy the change of the seasons. And that is kind of why, I guess that's one last point I want to make. I love living in an area that has weather, that has a change of season. Now, I've lived in Florida and I've lived in other places that doesn't quite have the change of seasons, but I love living in areas that have the change of seasons. And I appreciate it so much because it does, things change. With the change of seasons, things change, and nothing is truly permanent. And experiencing the change of seasons just keeps that reminder to me, enjoy the now. Enjoy the now, because the now is all we have. We plan for the future, and we should plan for the future. It's an important thing, but all we really have is right now. We aren't guaranteed the future. Our memories, I say putting a positive spin on them and learning from them. But living in the present and planning for the future. Alrighty. I appreciate you being with me today, and I look forward to seeing you here next time. Look for me maybe doing this on an earlier in the morning since it's summer. I may try to put it around 7:30 a.m. Mountain Time. But it'll always be here in the replays. And those of you who join me on the replays, I so appreciate it. But I want to thank you for joining me here on Inspiration Morning Live. Ta-ta for now.